Hey guys, Jake and Sarah Salyer here with another episode of At Our Kitchen Table with Hearth Homes. Today we want to talk to you about contingencies. That is a not very regularly touched on topic, and a lot of people don't really understand. And what I'll say is that every property is contingent because it is always contingent upon a successful closing. So when we're looking at that, we don't mean that it's marked contingent. Typically when we're working with a buyer or a seller, we mark that as pending. Now when you see a contingent property on Zillow and people are like, what does that mean? It's not marked pending because they still have a property to sell to move forward on that property. Yes.
Yeah,
so the buyers have made an offer, the sellers have accepted, but they haven't marked it pending because it's still open for everyone else to look at and potentially make an offer. The kicker there is a 24-hour clause that they have to give the original buyer that had their property to sell first and say, hey, we got this offer, we want to start negotiations or potentially go pending, but we are giving you this 24 hours to either move forward or bow out.
Right. And one, to go into further detail on that, and we bring this up because we get questions about contingencies all the time, no matter the market. Like, what does that mean? So in that 24-hour period, whatever that original buyer agreed, like the terms that were agreed upon with them, the seller cannot come to that buyer and say, hey, we got another offer. It's better than yours. We're just going to scratch you and take these. They cannot do that. They cannot, and they also can't come to you and say, hey, can you guys do any better? If that buyer can relieve their contingency, saying, yeah, we just got our house under contract, we
just had that exact same thing happen, which that's just
doesn't happen a whole lot, but
no, that's how the world works. Yeah. So their house wasn't getting much love, and all of a sudden, boom, we got an offer that morning, and then Sunday evening we were lifting our contingency or attempting to, and they were like, hey, we just got another offer on this, and so it didn't matter, didn't affect anything.
Nope.
We can lift our contingency because now this property has a contract.
Yep. They're no longer contingent on their house being sold. So that segues into the next thing, kind of what Jake said. All properties, all contracts are contingent or conditional. There are conditions that have to be made throughout the whole contract. So the first thing, like, let's take away somebody needing to sell their property. The first one is you go right into inspections. You know, it's contingent upon that buyer being satisfied. Yeah. Satisfied with their inspections, repair, and if there's repairs, buyer and seller can negotiate them. Okay, you move through that. Then there's the whole appraisal. That appraisal has to be satisfied. So it's as long as that
contingent is upon a agreeable appraisal amount. So everything is contingent essentially, but I guess that this whole topic is still probably really confusing because we're talking a million different things. When you see a property marked contingent and not pending, what that means for you as someone looking is that you are still able to view that property and still make an offer. And the only time that it will go back to the previous contingent buyers is if by some stroke of luck they were able to get an offer on their property, contract on their property that day. So no, when you're looking at Zillow, pending means they have a pending contract. Contingent means they potentially have a contract if this person can fulfill whatever obligation they had, which is always selling their house.
And another thing right now is in this market, you know, I keep saying 2 years, and it's kind of crazy that since COVID hit 2020, the market has just skyrocketed. Contingencies, a seller looking at a contingent offer was non-existent. We've said that several times in past videos. Now that things have started to slow down, it's becoming sellers are kind of looking at them, you know, depending on their situation and how many other offers they're getting. But anywhere from that 250 to 350 range, buyers are kind of like, hey, we now have to sell this property to gain our equity out of here to purchase this house. And sellers are having to entertain a few more contingent properties or contingent offers. So it's becoming a little more coming back into the scene. I can't say if it's going to be, as we're shifting, it's coming back. So it's a little bit more feasible. So all of you buyers, this is what I want to say, all of you buyers who are like, well, we don't want to be homeless, let's start looking at that option because it very well could be an option for you depending on your price range.
We touched on it on the last episode, but there are options for lower rates, even though rates are getting crazy. So don't lose heart, don't lose hope. Again, always default to your preferred professional. So reach out, even if it's not us, even if it's not us, call us.
Yeah.
And I will always
love to
respect that.
Share our knowledge.
Yeah, I respect that client relationship. If you're like, hey, I've got to use my uncle, but we want to know what you think.
Yeah.
I'll give you my opinion. And she will as well. She smiled because maybe you don't want my opinion. But anyway, we're here for you guys. Please call, text, email, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you for watching another episode of At Our Kitchen Table with Hearth Homes, and you guys have a great day.